Cavaliers, good afternoon and welcome to the Cinco de Mayo rendition of 5 Minutes with Ford. It's hard to believe the first week of May is now in the books, and it's field trip season around the state. In fact, my first grade son is visiting the zoo today with his classmates. He's probably engaged in an intense stare down with some sort of reptile as we speak. Our Cavaliers are field tripping also. Fifth grade took a bus ride over the bridge to visit the stadiums in South Philadelphia. Second grade explored the aquarium in Camden. First grade took a trip up north to visit Fernwood Farms. The art club went to the Philadelphia Art Museum. Da-na-na, da-na-na. And our lead away group took a short bus ride a few towns over to the Alice Paul House in Mount Laurel. The wheels on the bus go. Never mind. For those who can't wait for the weekly release of this show and open the link immediately upon receiving the blast or the post to social media, you still have time to shoot over to the castle to see Mr. Euler, Mr. Fines, and the Lady Cavaliers softball team take on the Squires of Stratford at the neutral site. Nice to see these two longtime rivals put differences aside to coordinate this offering for our young student athletes. Coach Euler has made arrangements for his players and their families to attend a Phillies game at Citizens Bank Park on May the 23rd. This will be a great team experience, and rumor has it, a first for many. Nice job, Coach, in coordinating this effort. On another note, we had not one, but two outstanding concerts this week. Mr. Terry and Mrs. Horiatis worked so hard developing such talented musicians year in and year out, and this year certainly did not disappoint. The night included performances from our jazz band, our blues band, the Cafe Cavs, the Gold Clefs, and a variety of student solos. And last but not least, one of my favorite parts of the show, and a new group this year that Mrs. Horiatis plans to build on, the Rap Clefs. And a new add-on to our spring concerts this year, Mrs. Barbera worked along with the music department to start the first annual Night of the Arts. Mrs. Barbera's Art Curators Club worked hard to prepare and display artwork throughout the hallways for students and their families to peruse prior to entering the concert venue. This display featured all the different types of art techniques that Mrs. Barbera had introduced to her students throughout the year. One thing that I found very cool is that Mrs. Barbera selected at least one piece of art produced by every single student that had art this year. So every student that had art was represented in that show. That is very, very cool and an intense demonstration of cross-referencing. Huge success and shout out to Mrs. Barbera, Mr. Terry, and Mrs. Horiatis for moving forward on an idea that was sparked at a department meeting earlier in the school year. We hope that this is the beginning of a movement that will ultimately see more of the arts link on to take the Night of the Arts to the next level. Quick shout out to our Cavalier Broad Street runners. Mrs. Priolo, Mrs. Hurry, and Mrs. Reed were seen, though as a blur, at the corner of Broad and Snyder in South Philadelphia yesterday. This location marks the 7-mile point in the race. Rumor has it they continued to brave the rain and cold for the remaining 3 miles and add yet another medal to their large collection. Great job, runners. Moving into next week, we have a few reminders. Kindergarten registration will be on Thursday, May the 11th, and Friday, May the 12th. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Mrs. Poole in the school's main office. Next Friday, May the 12th, is 4th marking period interims. Please make sure to check On Course Connect to view your child's academic status at the 4th quarter halfway point. NJSLA, New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, is quickly approaching. Testing will begin on Monday, May the 15th. Students in grades 3 through 8 will test in the morning only on Monday through Thursday of that week and Monday and Tuesday of the following week, with grades 5 and 8 taking the science examination on Wednesday of the second week. Hats off to our students for finishing and working hard on the spring map test session. Again, this data will be used to aid in the building of class lists over the summer, developing student groupings, and allowing administrators to finalize teacher schedules that will best enable us to meet individual and group needs that exist throughout our building. This is the time to make sure students are keeping up with assignments, getting to school on time, and finishing up the school year on a positive and strong note. Please remember that Friday, May the 26th, is no longer a half a day. In fact, school will be closed on that day. School will also be closed on Monday as scheduled to observe Memorial Day, and on Tuesday, May the 29th, school will remain closed. Tuesday, May the 30th, school will remain closed as an addition to or a revision to our school calendar. The Friday and Tuesday closures are new to the calendar as of the approval at the April Board of Education meeting. Well, Cavs, that's it for now. I hope that everyone enjoys the beautiful weather this weekend. I have some Saturday morning soccer on the schedule, and then after that, I will be taking a family trip to the local garden center where we will select vegetables that we want to plant in the newly built raised bed my son and I have been working on the past 2 weekends. So I encourage you to get outside, stay positive. We'll see you on the flip side. And as always, go Cavs.